Well, hello there. Today we are going to talk about Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lynn Tan. This is the second book of a duology. The first book was Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I absolutely loved. This book was just as magical and as good, if not better, than the first one. I'm like, how is that even possible that it was better? But it was so freaking good. And being back and immersed in that world once again, it follows the story of Xinyin, and she is the daughter of the moon goddess. In the prior book, her mother had been banished to the moon and was never allowed to leave because she took a elixir of immortality. All the people in charge, they were kind of, power-mongering, powerful people, and everything that the little people do is wrong. So they banished her to the moon and she wasn't allowed to leave. And so Xinyin in the prior book was fighting to free her mother from this fate that she had been shackled to. The story continues on. In this, a great threat rises up to the kingdom of the Celestial Kingdom. That is actually what the duology is, the Celestial Kingdom duology. So this great threat rises up. There is one of the major players who used to be one of the attendants to the Celestial Majesties, Minister Wu, who is a butt-kissing, evil, horrible man who's very vindictive and holds many grudges. He somehow gains the Celestial Emperor's ear and becomes one of his only confidants. He is put in charge of the Celestial Army. This starts to be a problem because the way he runs it, it's putting divides in the army. No one trusts each other, especially because he's horrible and no one likes him. It seems his goal basically is to just overthrow everything and everyone. So there's all these different kingdoms that come into play, and it's like who to trust and who not to trust, especially when your trust has already been ruined. Being able to return to this world and once again experience the emotionally charged story of Xinyin and her family was an absolute delight. And the turmoil, the sadness, the heartaches, and the triumphs are deeply emotional. I definitely cried a few times reading this. The book shows you that even in the darkest times, how love can be such a powerful motivator when all seems lost. The world building in this is fantastic. It's vivid and it's sparkling with magic. The characters have such heart and soul, and you worry about them as the stakes intensify, as the crap hits the fan. It's beautifully told. It's gripping from the get-go, especially if you read the first one. This may be my new favorite duology. I don't honestly know if I had a favorite duology to begin with. So if I didn't, I do now. And this is the one. It's fantasy, it's romance, which I don't normally like romance, but it's not like cheesy, horny teenager romance. It's part of the magical story, and it's not the focus, but it is all throughout part of it. And it's learning about yourself and who you trust and just forgiveness and all of these things. When this horrible General Wu now tries to take everything over and overthrow the Celestial Kingdom, they have to come together, form alliances with people that they never thought that they would probably form alliances with to figure out how they can defeat this threat of just this pure evil man. If you read the first one, you're in for such a treat with this one too, because it's so good. And I know sometimes you can read a second in the series and the second isn't as powerful as the first, but this one is, like I said, if not, it's even better. So I gave this one 5 stars. It was purely magical and fantastic, and just the vivid landscapes and characters that Sue Lynn Tan creates are phenomenal, and I love it. And I will probably read anything Sue Lynn Tan writes from now on. I love the way she writes and the stories that she builds. They're fantastic. So if you're looking for a good fantasy romance, which is weird that you hear me talking up a romance, that's right. It's part of the story quite a bit, but it's not sappy, and it's intrinsic to the story, and it's just really good, and I really enjoyed it. If you are a fan of fantastical realms and fantasy stories, the next video coming up will be another fantasy book that I have read, so stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, boop that like button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.